I will be beginning with you all and the guests after I play my commercial, and I hope you all enjoy. Let me find it right here. All right, here we go. That's right. We're on live. We're gonna get this thing done one way or another. What's up to y'all? What's up? Are you looking for a YouTube channel where you can learn a great deal about what it's like to be visually impaired? Well, look no further, because Third Eye Visions is for you. Go to the YouTube channel, put in the search bar 3RD EYE Visions / Anthony. That's Third Eye Visions / Anthony, and you will find all the videos that will be very educational and worth watching. Okay. Okay, we are here. Welcome, y'all. Can hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Are you there, Aolani? Let's see what happened here. Aolani, we're a little technical difficulty. We're gonna get it together. Aolani, you here?
She is not there.
Okay, I'm gonna hear her when she kicks in. But is the music too loud?
No, music's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're waiting on Aolani, the guest. But meanwhile, we have author John Marin, and he's going to be talking about his book, See Us, in a minute once we have our guest on arrival. Okay, I think we have her now. Aolani, are you there?
Hey, yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
I had
Anyway,
to even rejoin.
That's all right. That's what you did, exactly what I had wanted you to. And I want to thank you all for coming to Third Eye Visions. So anyway, let me do my interlude and we're going to get this thing rocking. Welcome to Third Eye Visions, where we motivate the blind, stimulate your mind, and welcome all kind. How Jonathan Marin's passion became his purpose. Or should I say, how author Jonathan Marin's passion became his purpose. Before I begin, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, and I'll even take some dislikes. I ain't tripping on none of that, you know what I'm saying? Comment, share, let me know what you don't like, what you thought about the interview, what I could do better, what you want to see, if you want to see more of these types of interviews, and I'm gonna make it happen for you. So with that being said, I have author Jonathan Marin who's going to come in, and he also have a guest, but we're going to allow her to say what's up, but then we're going to interview the author first. But with that being said, John, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Again, all these guests come on here and they sound so disappointed, so down, so melancholy. I want you to give me a welcome. Come on, well, let's pipe this thing up. You know what? I bet you, Aolani, can you give me a glad to be here or something like that?
Well, I'm glad to be here.
Okay.
I think we're trolling you now.
I see. So welcome to the show. I see you brought your guest with you. Just tell her who she is and what you know what's the purpose, and then we'll get into your story. Who she is.
So Aolani is she's an intern with the Career Discovery Project. She's going on her second internship opportunity with the program, and she's also featured in my book, See Us.
Okay, and that's you want to say hi one more time, Aolani?
Hello.
Okay, that's a great segue, because I want to talk about the title of the book, See Us. Where did that originate from? Where did you get, how did you come up with that title? And just basically give us the little significance as to what it means, author John Marin.
Sure. So as I ran my program, the Career Discovery Project, and I told, many people about these students and what they're doing, a lot of them gave me the impression that they didn't know they even exist, that they could do this type of work. No one knows that they're doing it. So that's kind of how the title for the book came to be. I'm like, you know what? I have to show people who these guys are. People need to see who they are and what they're doing. So, since it's a group, there's 6 students that are featured. I thought the title "See Us" made perfect sense.
Okay, definitely. I like it. Now, I caught you in a couple of videos. One more specifically is my girl Chelsea. I'm gonna give a big shout out to Chelsea. And you said that you have been working with the visually impaired for 10 years. That's correct?
That is correct. Probably even, maybe even a little more than that. Who knows? It's been a while.
Okay. Are you by any chance visually impaired? And if so, how did you lose your sight?
Well, I have a lot of vision. I believe my main problem is with distance. So if something's really far away, most chances are I'm most likely not going to see it. It's interesting though, because if I'm in a car, I could actually drive if it's during the day, and if I know the neighborhood, that way I don't have to see the street signs. You know what I mean? I could see the traffic lights perfectly fine. I could see people crossing the street from really far away. But I guess when it comes to street signs, little technical things like that, I would probably have to drive with my glasses, and I'm pretty sure I will not be cleared to drive at night.
Okay. Well, you said it in the other video. I'm just joking with you.
No,
Aolani, would you ride with him?
Maybe.
You
In a neighborhood that he knows.
Yes,
During the day.
and during the day, yes, you're good.
Well, he is your coach. He is your mentor. So you kind of like have to do what he says. So if he says get in the car, you got to roll with him. But anyway, while working as an author, you created the career discovery project. Tell us what that is. How has it grown from the I don't know if it started in 2014, but how has it grown over the years from 2014 to 2019, the amount of people that you serve, and just inform everybody what that actually is.
So I inherited the program. It's a grant funded program. I inherited it in around 2014. I believe it was probably out 3 years prior, but it was very small. So when I took over, and I know it's sound like I'm bragging, but when I took over, it kind of exploded, under my leadership, only because I was already within a community. I had the access to the counselors for the visually impaired. I already knew a bunch of the students. I knew the schools already. The previous manager, she didn't have that access. So when she left, and more, did she leave me a nice template though? I'm telling you, she gave me a nice template to work with, but she just didn't have the inside info like I had. So when I took over the program, it grew rapidly, and since 2014 until now, these 6-7 years or so, I probably served about, maybe 60, 90 students probably. Yeah, it's a year-round program as well. So they work during the school year, they work during the summer. We make sure the scheduling is flexible, the assignments are flexible. I like to place students with internships that are interesting to them. A lot of these other agencies, they kind of just take these students and they place them wherever to do whatever. Mine is more person-centered. So with Aolani, for example, I'll ask her, hey, what would you like to do? What type of work are you interested in? And then I go and I try to find an internship that will match her interests or career goals.
Okay, that's great. Now, I may be stopping from time to time because you have some fans on here already. Someone by the name of Chelsea said, well, not saying, but Chelsea said hi. And C Nelly said hi.
Yeah, Clive Nelson. Yeah, we went to school together. We went to Lavelle School for the Blind from, I was there from 89 to 95. Clive's a lot older than me, so I think he was there from maybe probably 87 or so.
Okay.
Yeah, I've known him a long time. So
okay, cool.
Very appreciative for the support.
Okay, well, if I get the chance, between times, if you hear me kind of like pause, that's what it is. So, Aolani, I was gonna wait to the end. I don't want you to just be waiting. I'm gonna ask you. So, you're benefiting from the program as well, right?
I've been what? Sorry.
You're benefiting from the program that John has created.
Yes.
Okay, tell me a little bit about how have you enjoyed it? What have you learned from it thus far?
The first year that I started working with him, I ended up doing an internship with a theater company, doing like graphic design, and I ended up learning quite a bit, not just about like the field of graphic design, but that like there are certain jobs that I'm not interested in that I originally thought I was interested in. So I was able to pretty much learn that like certain interests may shift when you actually get experience in that place. And
Mm.
especially now that I work in a slightly different like job with the Museum of Moving Image, like my job is different than last year's, and I get to learn about tons of different fields and things that I didn't even know existed, and it like opens my interest and like shifts it to more things now that I have experience in different places.
Okay. And again, John, your program, is it only in the area where you live, which is New York, the Discovery Project, Career
Yeah,
Discovery Project?
it's New York City
Mm.
and Westchester County. So like the surrounding counties, a little like about maybe half hour, 45 minutes away from New York City.
Okay.
I would love to expand even bigger. I would love to grow the program like that, but that's all about the funding.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. I like what you're doing. I wish you could. They had programs like this in the area in which I stay. So, how and you may have answered because as I mentioned, I'm doing other things. How if one wants to be a part of your program, how are they selected? I mean, are they recommended by someone? How do they come to your program?
So it could go a bunch of ways since I have so much leeway in the way I run the program.
Mm,
So either I could just ask a student straight up if he or she would like to work this summer. If I already know the student, I could get referrals from their teachers, from their guidance counselors, and once I get those referrals, that's when the whole pre-planning starts. I'll meet with the student. We'll talk about what type of work they want to do. Make sure they have their working papers if they need working papers. I believe what is it, Alani? 18, you don't need them anymore. 17,
18.
18.
They
So
change kinds of working papers when you
mm,
turn 16, but then 18 you don't need working papers anymore.
right.
okay.
So like these are the younger high school students that I have. They'll need the working papers. College students obviously they don't need them. Sometimes I'll talk to the parents a little bit, let them know about the program, see if they want their child to work. So it kind of goes in a circle. Sometimes students reach out to me. They share my information. I'll get a random text or phone call. Hi, Mr. Marin. My friend said you can get me a job. I'm like, okay, who's this?
That's what
And
I'm
then
talking.
yeah.
That
So, but then either way, they still have to go through the proper channels before I can
right.
get anyone officially signed up. And then I have to find a site for them to work at. So I have to go out and be a salesman and reach out to the sites that these students find interesting, and I'll have to convince them to take one of them on.
That's man, that's very commendable because I mentioned that we have certain programs on here, but they're not that intrusive. They're not that willing to really take that extra step, and I commend you for that. Before I move on, a young man by the name of Free Thinker said hi. You familiar with him?
I am not, but hello, free thinker.
Okay. Now, you did start out as a job coach, as mentioned earlier, right?
Yes, way back. Oh God, man, you're bringing me back now. This had to be like maybe 2004, 5, 6, around that time. It was seasonal. I was job coaching for this during the summer, and that's how I started getting connections with the counselors at the New York Commission for the Blind, teachers of the visually impaired, and the students. And even now with the programs, some of these students, man, I've watched them, from their sophomore year in high school to when they graduate, and I still know some of them, like Chelsea. I know her when she was a high school freshman, and look, she'll be graduating from college in about a year or two. Alani, you were what, in the 10th grade when we met?
Yes.
Yeah, look at that.
10th grade.
I'm
10th
gonna most likely
grade.
know her until she graduates.
Okay.
Next
So,
year is my senior year.
okay. So
Yeah.
what do you have plans after you graduate, Alani? If you haven't said.
Um, I want to go to college. I'm currently looking for colleges right now, actually. I want to go into the field of screenwriting and Asian studies,
And
possibly even animation.
and your program follows them through that curriculum or helps find maybe people that are hiring, John.
Not officially, but I
Mm,
would do it anyway. You know what
okay.
I mean? Now, here's another thing I want to mention. So, look what's happening now with Alani. she's already getting this work experience, right?
Right.
With the Museum of the Moving Image. She's doing incredible stuff, and later on she'll get into details about what she's doing. By the time she gets to college, and she's a freshman in college, she is most likely going to have more work experience than most of the students in her class. Where else is that going to happen?
That's very important, man. Definitely, that's very important. Now, the term uh, a passion turned into a purpose, and I understand that you job coach, you mentor, and all this other stuff. How did that come about? I mean, I know you enjoy doing that, but how did did you coin that phrase, or someone had coined that phrase for you as far as a passion turned to a purpose? Follow me?
Yes, someone coined it for me. I heard it. I liked it. I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what happened. I guess kind of like what I touched on a little bit earlier. You're watching. At least I get to see these students grow up, like right before my eyes. I get to watch them grow, mature. I get to know, some of their families. We all, we develop, really good relationships. So it's just kind of a natural progression to just develop this passion for them, to try to keep them going, and keep them on the right track, and make sure that they become successful. Because when I was growing up in high school, and I'm going to get a little deep here, I was a mess. All right, I got kicked out of high school. I took forever to graduate from college because I was just so mature and just screwing around way too much. So, when I finally got my reality check and I got myself together, I look at some of these students that I'm working with, and I don't want them to do what I did. I don't want them to take, that long road. If I could just keep them, on a straight path, then, they could do everything on time and they'll be just fine. I think we're in the time where we really can't delay and afford to start late on our careers and so on. So I don't want them to do what I did. Maybe on the other hand, I'm still sort of a good example of, eventually you do grow up and you can, become somewhat successful. I guess it goes both ways with me, but if they could just stay on track and not have to, do the foolishness that I did or struggle like I did, then I'm glad I could help. And
man, I feel your passion, Jay. I feel your passion. Can I call you Jay?
You can call whatever you want, sir.
Or no, you have to say sir. I feel your passion. So, Aolani, I forgot to ask you. Are you visual? Because I don't know, and the audience probably don't know that. Are you visually impaired, or you have
Yes, I am. I'm legally blind. I have Leber's congenital amaurosis, quite a long name. I have enough vision to not need a cane like through normal travel, though I do keep one because I like to travel out of the country a lot. So I use it whenever I go out of the country or like to a different state or something. So I can my problem is also like distance like Jonathan, but like I cannot see anything from far. I'm extremely nearsighted. I'm also colorblind. That's a whole other thing. But besides that, I have enough vision to like walk around. I read print. Without, yeah. I just keep my cane for unfamiliar places like new countries or states, or even packed places like airports or Times Square, because Times Square.
Yeah, I know
too many people at Times Square. Yeah. So it's just easier for them to not like trip over me and stuff.
Now, John, before we delve into your book, which is called See Us, do you also provide or maybe contact agencies if individuals need technologies and things like that?
Actually, I go to them to get my students technologies because we're, the organization I work with, we're very small. And since some of the students are working remotely, well, actually all my students are working remotely this year, I had to make sure that they had the technology they needed to do the work. We don't have the funds or the means to supply that technology. That's actually not too bad because it's kind of good where we can go to a bigger organization that could do that, and it kind of makes my job a little bit easier if I could just go and say, hey, Aolani needs this, that, and the other thing, and they go and they get it for her,
like an advocate.
Yeah, exactly. And they're supposed to do that stuff for her whether she's working or not, right, Aolani?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, sometimes I'll have to go and ask and make sure they have particular things.
Okay. Well, this segues into the next question because you are such a busy man. In the midst of you spreading your word, helping others, creating platform, coaching, and motivating, how do you have time to become a well-established author of a book again called "See Us"? And again, answer that question, but also tell the audience because there's some people who are just joining. Why you titled it and how is it doing and where could they find it? So it's a lot. You can handle it. Go ahead.
Sure. So okay. I'm calling it. It's first of all, see us. It's a photography book. Black and white photos. I like to call it a photographic journey. So it's a photographic journey of six visually impaired young adults from New York City that are balancing their lives between work, home, and school. All six were part of my internship program, the Career Discovery Project, last year in 2019. We took the photos through the summer and the fall of that year. The whole purpose of the book was to show people that you have these incredible, talented, and motivated students out there that they're not letting their visual impairments or their blindness get in the way of them, not just living a normal life,
Mhm.
but really trying to accomplish their goals. They're not just staying home doing anything. They want to be busy. They want to work. Um, and that goes to say, you have regular high school students that don't want to do anything,
That's right.
and then they're just home, sadly, wasting away, no motivation. So, and then when people hear that, and when they see that there's visually impaired students that are working and going to school and doing all these other extracurricular activities, they get surprised. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't be surprised. This is actually normal. You just
I know.
you just don't see them.
I know.
So, that's why I figured, again, that See Us would be a perfect name for the book because, people have to know that they're out there. They should know that they're out there and what they're doing. I had a friend, she hit me up. It was about a year ago, actually, right before I started the book, and this really motivated me to do it even more. She said, "Hey, John, I know you work with students that are blind. I saw one on the train, no, the New York City subway. I saw one riding the subway, and I didn't know they could do that." I'm like, oh, yeah, exactly. I'm like, you see, this is exactly
Okay.
why this is exactly why I do what I do because there's so much. I know it sounds like a harsh word, but there's a lot of ignorance
No, I understand
out
because
there.
I understand what you're saying because it's and then with the emergence of technology, you would think that people wouldn't be so trapped in the
Surprised.
closet. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So, but anyway, this is what this channel is all about. And this is why I'm glad that you reached out to me to come on and educate the people. Now, in your book, you follow six diverse visually impaired individuals in the summer from the summer to the fall of 2019, and you focus on, I guess their movements, what they're doing in terms of the progress in the in the programs that you have. You
Hmm.
want to tell a little bit about the individuals briefly, who they are and what ethnicity that they range
Yeah,
from.
sure. So, if I may, before I get to that,
You can do
I
whatever.
want to,
This is your
yeah.
show, baby.
I just want to explain to people out there that it's a photography book, so I wanted people to see them, see these students doing what they're doing, right? I want people to actually see that.
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah,
Do you have any pictures, any books? Because you had mentioned about some pictures, and I forgot to mention it. Because if you do, you can probably hold it up and maybe they can see. Because I have some sighted audiences as well. So do
I
you
do
have?
have pictures actually on the Instagram. The book is
Okay.
not published yet. It should
Okay.
be hopefully by the end of the summer. And forgive my camera shaking. My cat is scratching herself, shaking the table, and she will not move. Forgive me.
Okay.
So anyway,
Go ahead.
they're black and white photos. They were taken. Some of them were at work. Some were at home. Some of them were traveling. Yeah, I really want to get people a real in-depth feel of their life. I want the audience to feel that they're actually following, this student on their journey. The pictures are accompanied by some of their personal thoughts, which are really powerful. So that way, the audience also knows what they're thinking. They're not just looking at these pictures. I want them to get to know these students so they can get a real idea of what it's like to walk in their shoes.
Okay.
So I have 6 students from 3 boroughs: the Bronx, Staten Island, and Queens. They're all different nationalities: Asian, Latino, African American,
Okay.
which was just natural for New York City. So it's not like
Right.
I was
Exactly.
even doing
Melting
it on
pot.
purpose. Yeah, that was
Right.
just completely natural. But I
Okay.
thought, man, this is just even better. Um, because it just shows that it doesn't matter what culture you are, it doesn't matter what race you are. All these guys have a common goal, and they just want to live their lives and be successful. And they
Okay.
know this is how they have to do it. And thanks to my program, it's kind of helping them because I'm being straight up, and I think Aolani will agree. If it wasn't for my program, a lot of these students wouldn't have the type of work the work experiences that they got.
Definitely.
They're not going to get it anywhere else. That's just a fact. It's not even bragging. It's just the way
No,
I'm running my
it's your turn to
program, and it's the
brag.
way I choose to run it, and it's working that way for them. And I got to keep that going.
It's your
Um,
turn to brag, man. Do it because
yeah,
this is definitely needed, man, for real. And as I keep mentioning, I wish there was programs like this here down where I'm from in Louisiana and whatnot, and a mentoring program. I wish I had it while I was in high school because the basically the degree or the field that I went into, I probably wouldn't have went into. I would have had someone to give me better guidance and say, well, hey, Anthony, because you're blind, blase, this wouldn't be a good field for you or whatever. Or if you're going into this would be the choices that you have made. But it's not about me. It's about you and your student Aolani, whom you're going to introduce to the world. And you ask her a few questions. I'm gonna let you do a takeover about 3 minutes and talk to Aolani and ask her what she's learned within the program. And you do the interview for a second. Go ahead.
sure. So, guys, this is Aolani Cruz. She's second go around on my internship program, the Career Discovery Project. She's extremely bright, extremely intelligent. Oh, that's another thing I had to mention. Regarding my program, the students have to be um, college-bound students because the work we get them is not easy. So these students have to be college-bound. Aolani is definitely college-bound student. I think that's obvious by now. So Alani's working at the Museum of the Moving Image, and she's working remotely. So Aolani, could you actually tell us what you've been working on since you started a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, sure. Most of the stuff I've been doing is working with their youth summer camp. I don't know if it's called youth summer camp. They work with a lot of younger children around ages 8 to 14, and there's each week is a different round of classes involving media. So just this last week, I worked on an indie game makers class. So these kids are 8 to 14, and they're already making like independent video games and actually publishing them. So
Wow.
I basically just kind of help with the class since it's through Zoom. I help the teacher mediate them because they're 8 to 14. Sometimes they don't have the attention span to completely listen. So,
What was
or
that?
they're 8 to 14, so they don't really have the
The
attention
attention
span to
span.
listen
Mm-hmm.
all the time. The older kids usually do, but kids don't always get along. So I help, manage the chat, text them like through the chat to see if they need anything or like to tell them to calm down if anything. Sometimes we play games using the chat, like the different Zoom options. As well as that, though, I'm working on a teen film festival, and they had asked me and I think one other intern to actually be the judges. So this last week or so, I went through 35 short films, and I had to watch them, critique them, write about the kid who made them, and then next week and like throughout the following weeks, I'm going to have to email the ones who got chosen out of the 35, and then put them together in the actual roster so that we could put together the film festival. So that's an ongoing project I'm going to be doing for maybe the
I'm
next
excited to see that.
week
Yeah.
or so. So that's what I've been mostly doing. Last week I was a part of a screenwriting class. So that was really interesting because that's one of my personal interests for college. So that's why I find this like internship really interesting because I love media and like film and TV, and like there are totally different kinds of production stuff. Like next week I'm going to be in a claymation class. I have know nothing about claymation, but these kids are going to learn, and I'm going to learn alongside the kids while I help them. So
Is that dealing with? I know me sound ignorant, but I'm ignorant anyway. So is that dealing with clay?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
all
it is.
right.
Not to mess with you.
Oh,
But go ahead, John.
yeah, I just wanted to add something to your audience as well. So, as you know, New York City had a shutdown due to the pandemic. So,
Hmm.
normally, my students would work on site. Some of them would work remotely anyway, from home or from school. But most of the time, my students would work on site. This summer, we had to, readapt, and I actually have all of my students this summer working remotely. So, Alani, you haven't worked on site with my program yet, but what's it like working remotely? Would you rather work from home like you're doing
Um,
now, or do you feel like you should be doing this work on site at the museum?
that's an interesting question because last year I also worked remotely as the graphic designer for the theater company, and
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, I found it like it wasn't as like fun as like a job would be on site, but working with the Museum of Moving Image, I feel like working from home with like this job is just a completely different experience in total because if I worked on site, I would be actually walking throughout the classroom because they
Right.
have those summer camps every day
Hmm.
and they would be classrooms. So that would be a completely other experience. Like I would probably be standing there, like, or like walking around actually talking to the kids. And that would be a completely other experience. But I'm still learning a lot from here because I would still have to do partially from home, like the film festival stuff would probably be from home. And the meetings I would probably attend either from home or at the museum. So I feel like I kind of enjoy it right now. I don't mind because I'm saving the travel time because it's in Astoria and I live in Flushing. So that is some travel time that I would probably have to consider in the summer of New York, which,
Would you
hot.
mind? Would you mind telling the non-New Yorkers that are watching this what that commute would have been like? How would you have? Actually, how would you
Uh
have gotten there? Would you have taken the 7? How would you have done this?
I would have That's a good question. I probably would have had taken a bus to the E train and then transferred to the 7 or like the N and then walk.
The end,
So
yeah,
it
the
Wow.
would,
end, yeah.
yeah. So
So
it
in
would
terms of
be
hours, you
maybe it would be about an hour, 15-minute commute probably from
That's
home
the New York
to
life.
wow,
that's
wow.
that's New York. And I start working at 9 some weeks. So I would have had to leave my house because including New York rush hour, probably around 7:15 if I wanted to get there early and like actually get into the museum and stuff. I don't know if the class times are different also because we're doing stuff remotely,
Mhm.
so that could affect it, but still about an hour 15-minute commute every day and
Wow.
that's in the New York heat of like 90 degrees,
Wow.
95 degrees. So I don't mind not having to do that commute.
I
Um,
definitely, I feel
and
you.
I'm kind of enjoying this like experience online. It's a little frustrating sometimes, but I think that's more working with kids is going to be frustrating sometimes. They're not easy as teenagers my age. That's just how it's going to be. But it's a great experience.
Okay.
Fun fact, Anthony, I've been working from home since I took over the program, since my students are from all over the city, and I live in the Bronx. It wouldn't make any sense for me to be in my office, which is in all the way in Staten Island, if I have to be out on the field a lot of the
Right.
time anyway, because I'm either at a school meeting
Mhm.
with students or I'm at a job site. So, or sometimes I just have to leave home spontaneously for whatever reason for work. So, yeah, I've been working home from home for like the last 7 years that I've been running the program, and it
Okay.
just makes sense, at least for me.
It does.
So I was able to help some of this, some of the guys adapt, how it's going to feel, for the younger students at least, Alani, how it's going to feel when they have to,
Mm.
work from home. But at the way, it's kind of the future anyway. So
Exactly.
you guys are
I
ahead of the
wouldn't.
game.
I definitely wouldn't mind working from home. But as we sum it up, man, I appreciate you all coming over, doing the takeover, talking. John and Alana, y'all did a great job toward the end. I want you, John, to sum up again where they can find the book whenever it comes out. That you're going to give me several copies. Don't put you on
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the spot. Talk about last a little bit more about your
Yeah.
your, your career discovery program and sum it up. That's all. Go ahead.
All right, so we're hoping for the book to be released, and this is like the second time it got delayed because of forces out of our control. So we're looking for it to get released either at the end of the summer or the early fall. It will be in print, hardcover. We will have ebook versions available as well, so there will be captioning to describe the photographs
Thank you.
for readers that are blind. And I spoke to some of my students, and they already said they have the apps that will help them with that. So they're glad I'm going to get the photos captioned, so it'll be accessible. And we're also going to have a braille version available upon request. So if someone wants a braille version, they will make that specific order, and then we will go and get it printed.
Okay.
We're hoping to have it on ebook or all those ebook devices and apps that are out there. We're hoping they'll be available.
Kindle.
Kindle,
There you
everything.
go.
I'm hoping, yeah, we're going to go down the list and make sure it's widely accessible as possible. I would love to get into some brick and mortar stores as well. So we're almost there. We're almost there. Everything is wrapping up. All the photos are already taken. It's just all about we're just putting it together right now. That's about it. We're actually physically building the book, and yeah, hopefully it'll be out soon.
Follow
Okay.
the social media.
Yes,
And well,
yes,
look,
and
yeah, give your social medias, and I want you all to come back, and I'm gonna check your progress at later on, like next year or whatever, Aolani, and see how you progress. And John, you're welcome to come back. This show is an open show. If you want to come back and we want to share some more of your things that you're putting together, and hopefully it would have branched out to other states and hopefully reach down here. By that time, I'd definitely be willing to have you come on and discuss those issues. But definitely, thanks, Aolani. Give y'all social media real slow and whatnot, and also I'm gonna get the links anyway. So just give it to them because it's on live.
sure. So on Twitter, you can follow me at author _ Marin, Marin, and on Instagram, the author John Marin, JonMarin, Facebook, John Marin.
Okay.
Aolani,
Aolani.
Oh,
you want some followers?
I don't even remember my own handle. That's horrible. Mine is LMN _ Actually, I don't remember. I'm so
Well, look,
sorry.
don't worry about that. I don't want to put you on the spot. I'm gonna let you do this then. You can't remember this. Can you tell everybody why they should subscribe to Third Eye Visions, and to continue to subscribe, and I'm gonna get your links. You can send them to me tomorrow, but just tell them to subscribe Third Eye Visions, why they should, and why you think this is a good program. Go ahead. You can do that.
Me? Okay. Yeah, well, y'all should subscribe because it's good for everyone to be more educated about everything visually impaired or just anything in general. Everybody should be educated about these things, or just find things that they had no idea existed. Just like this, a lot of people would not have known about it if they didn't tune in. So subscribe, y'all.
Thank you. And John, again, give them the name of that book, man.
Name of the book is See Us. If it does well, I'm gonna go for a documentary. I can't wait to actually get started on that. So I hope the book does well, and then that will be the next phase of my project.
And if you're planning on doing any movies, man, put me in the movie. I mean, let me play a part. I can act. I can really act. So if you ever decide to do any movies, I know this is a sidebar way on the left, but yeah, put me in the movie, man. I'm ready to get out of Louisiana big time.
I hear you, brother.
Man, y'all
We'll
feel
see
like
what we can
family.
do.
Y'all, I feel y'all, man. I appreciate y'all coming on here, man. And any time is the right time for your time and my time. Okay.
Thank you for
Thank
the
you.
opportunity.
Thank you
Thank
very
y'all
much.
so much, man. Okay. Love y'all. Be cool.
Okay, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
All right.